Look, the Fed has an impossible task, right? They don't control interest rates along the entire interest rate curve. They set the Fed funds rate. That's what they do. And then that Fed funds rate like seeps into the rest of the interest rate curve and then the broader economy. And so if I asked you guys like, look, what is the quote unquote correct to set for the Fed? What is the answer to that? There is no correct answer. So what I'm actually for is let people who are in crypto experiment and innovate, because eventually they'll come up with a way to separate the money and the state. That's what I feel. Like in terms of managing a fiat currency, the United States does better than other countries. I grew up in another country, right? I grew up in Turkey, where at some point, like we were walking around with $10 billion notes, they had to lop off 6 zeros from the currency. They had to do it again like sometime later. So every country out there in the world is inflating away their currency. Instead of solving difficult problems, they just print money. They just expand the money supply. And we are no exception. The United States is doing the same thing. But at least in the United States, we have a bunch of other things going for us, namely freedom. Like mostly we're pretty free to do what we want here. So I think that freedom should extend to crypto. And then hopefully over time in crypto, we're not there yet, but hopefully we find a way to create a meaningful store of value that can't be inflated away by bureaucrats. But until we get there, you can't just abolish the Federal Reserve. It would be pandemonium.